I'm so tired of being taken advantage of. Haters love when I give, when I'm staying underpaid. But when I'm winning, I'm forgotten. They say I love you, but they're plotting.
Don't scream out that I love you. Show me who you are first. Cause I really hate to trust in you when you end up being so hurtful.
They say it's family over everything, right? Well, to me that really means nothing if they're not loving, no.
And it's family over everything, right? Well, to me that really means nothing if they're not loving.
They are the very ones who know how to break us down, who can put us down in the worst way.
When you scream out that you love me, show me who you are first. Cause I really hate to put up with you when you end up being so hurtful.
They say it's family over everything, right? Well, to me that really means nothing if they're not loving, no. And it's family over everything, right? Well, to me that really means nothing if they're not loving.
Are the very ones who know how to break us down, who can put us down in the worst way.
When you scream out that you love me, show me who you are first. Cause I really hate to put up with you when you end up being so hurtful. They say it's family over everything, right? Well, to me that really means nothing if they're not loving. And it's family over everything, right? Well, to me that really means nothing if they're not loving, no.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? Let me fix these lights real quick. Look, for me to get the show started, I have to have my own little party here, but it's time to fix the lights. All right, we are good to go. We are good to go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing out there today? Hopefully everyone is doing well. Hopefully you had a phenomenal week. I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are, above all else, engineered to win. See, there's nothing wrong with losing as long as you figure out a way to win the next time, or maybe the time after that. You might lose 2, 3, 4 times in a row, but the real loss is once you actually give up. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, how is everyone doing? We are doing today's show is Men Lie. Believe it or not, women also lie. But numbers never lie. Numbers never lie. You know what numbers do? Numbers manipulate. That's what they do. That's what they do. And that's why we take the time here to review the weekly economic numbers, to try to break down what they actually mean to us before we just accept what everyone else is saying. All right, so that's the plan for today. Let me see, any quick announcements? We're going to be going live tomorrow at around 2:30 Eastern time. We're going to be doing DevOps. Tomorrow, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on getting the same app that we're going to be using today, the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. We're going to be using that to, we're going to be trying to deploy that using the command line on our local command line, so that, just to continue to build Kubernetes experience. Very, very popular software. So if you're interested in DevOps, you definitely want to be there. Other announcements, nothing comes to mind. We're going to have candid conversation. It's going to be a really, really good candid conversation on Monday. learning a lot, getting a lot of accomplishments. I am currently at weight, maybe even a little bit underweight for competition, and which is it's less than 2 weeks away. We are going to be getting after it. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more on Candid Conversations on Monday, but these past 2 months, it's been real. The I don't know. Like I'll talk about the systems that I put in place to achieve my goals. That I had. Like, there was no other option. There was no other option. But the things that I had to do to get there, and some people might think that, oh, that's not safe. That's crazy. But guess what? Guess what? A lot of crazy people. They're also successful, and they also win. So if I have to be a little crazy sometimes, then guess what? I have to be a little crazy sometimes. I'll share this. Like yesterday, I was cramping like crazy from maybe a little bit of dehydration. I don't know. And a friend of mine said, "Oh yeah," and I said, you know what? I was cramping, but I enjoyed it because of all the work that got there and the training that I had. And they said, "You enjoyed the pain. You're a little psychotic." I was like, "Thank you very much. Thank you very much." But I'm just crazy. All right. Let's do this. So let me check the chat, and then we will get into the show. Do me a favor though, if you haven't done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content. And wherever you're watching from, if it's from X, if it's from Twitch, I appreciate you nonetheless. Thank you for everyone who tunes in on a regular basis. I appreciate all of you.
I appreciate you.
And if you want exclusive content, if you want one-on-one coaching, if you want to join the Team Techo Drop Discord to learn together with other people, I heavily influence people to try to learn together, whether you're trying to learn Python, DevOps, ethical hacking, collaborate. You don't have to do it on your own, right? I work crazily. I set the blueprint. I work a lot, but there are other people who they have their own lives and stuff like that, and they are also trying to learn. And you can get some resources. You can get some additional resources. Like I know somebody the other day, they posted about some a Python question they weren't sure of, and somebody answered with them like within minutes, saying, "Did you check this?" And then like, "Oh yeah, awesome, I figured it out." So I am just trying to make a place where you have available resources if you get stuck. It is 99% a tech space, and that's how I want it to be, because I just want you to be able to. And sometimes I'm in there like I was gonna answer the question, but the other person beat me to it. I was like, that is awesome. That is exactly what I wanted. So as we continue to grow and as we continue to get more people who, like, some people are beginners, some people have a plethora of information. So it's just a good space to collaborate and to learn together. All right. Yeah, that's about it. All right. So I haven't even set the timer yet. Let me set the timer. Let's see. Let's set our timer for 90 minutes. And let's get to let me get to the chat first, and then we're gonna get to I cannot forget my chat. Then we will get to actually doing some work. First and foremost, in the building we have Roxy in the building. Says oh, look at that. It didn't mess up today. It says, "Good morning, Techo Drop," and everyone, good morning to you as well. Roxy, how are you? Hopefully everything is going well and phenomenal for you. And we have Miss Freckles in the building. Says, "Blessings to TCR, Roxy, and everyone headed to work." You know what I have to tell you about that, Miss Freckles? I only have one thing to tell you, and that is,
let's get it.
Let's get it, Miss Freckles. Let's get it. Keep it going. Wish you the best. All right. Says, and Miss Freckles says, thank you. Just some OT for a project. I'll be back in the bushes. Wherever you are, Miss Freckles, we appreciate you nonetheless. All right. So with that being said, let's get started with our show for today. So let's go over to here. And let's see what indicators that we have coming up for today. All right. So we are going to be talking about the purchasing manager index, the manufacturing one. We're going to be talking about jobs today. And I wanted to cover the crypto summit that happened yesterday. at the White House, which I think that was like the first White House crypto thing, and President Trump spoke there. So I wanted to take some time to cover that as well. So that is our plan for today. But the order we're gonna go in, we're gonna do the I'm gonna bunch the jobs together. So we're gonna do the manufacturing PMI. We're gonna do the non-manufacturing PMI, which is the services PMI, and then we will do. I'm not gonna do initial jobless claims today because we have all the jobs information. So like the non-farm employment change, we have the unemployment rate, non-farm payroll. So we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look in that order, and then to wrap up the show, we'll watch and review, give some commentary, because I have not watched any of it yet of what President Trump said at the crypto summit. I have no idea, so we're gonna watch that together, get some insight together, and then we will wrap the show up. I'm working on myself. I need to keep the show times a lot sharper. So we'll figure it out. But 90 minutes is the time that we have set. So that's the time that I'm going to aim for. We are not going to be going for 3 hours. Not today. Hopefully not ever. Need to better allocate the time. All right. So like I said, time is money. Okay. So with that being said, let's jump into it right away. First thing we're going to search for is our manufacturing PMI. Let's get to that. Purchasing manager index. So that's what we want. We want the manufacturing purchasing manager index. And let me see. Let's see. And I have to read what Ms. Freckles says right now because that's pretty cool. Ms. Freckles says, of course, it had to mess up somewhere, right? It has to mess up somewhere. Let's see. Can I make that? Oh, shoot. Had to mess up somewhere. All right. So Ms. Freckles says that, side note, I received a letter from Senator Josh Hawley because I asked him to support crypto. Good job. You're reaching out to your elected representatives. So that's awesome. What did he say? I meant this one. What did he say? If you don't mind sharing, what did he say in his letter? That's pretty cool. I'm interested to hear what your senator said about him supporting crypto. All right. And we got my guy Spaces in the building. What's up, Spaces? How are you doing today? Awesome to see you. Love when you stop by. All right. Let's continue on. All right. So and if you guys want, you can drop something in the chat. If not, I will find an example of a job or of a career to search for. And all right, so the Purchasing Manager Index, what is it? So it's like a report card for the economy. Imagine you have a friend who checks how well stores and factories are doing each month. They are questions like, are you making more or fewer things this month? Are prices going up or down? Based on the answer, they give a score between 0 and 100. If the score is above 50, it means the economy is growing, like getting a good grade. If the score is below 50, it means the economy might be slowing down, like getting a lower grade. So the PMI helps people understand if the economy is doing well or not. So this is going to be pretty interesting because we saw what the number was, right? What's going on here? Why are you doing this to me? Let me see. Reload frame. Well, that sucks. Urban. Let me see. Local host. Does it work? Oh my, they stopped working. Great job, whoever, investing.com. All right. At least we know what we need to review today, right? So let's go back up here. But it was like 50.3, I think, right? So let's get an example of how the PMI would affect a career. Let's say a what about the PMI affecting a? We will go. Let's go with a. I think we did one of these before. A union dock worker. How does the PMI affect the manufacturing PMI affect a union dock worker? All right, so all right, I gotta edit this prompt because it always gives me like what it is, which we already read what it is. So we really want to go over here. So how does the PMI impact a dock worker? So production levels. If PMI is high, say 60, it suggests that manufacturers are busy and increasing production. This means more goods need to be shipped. As a dock worker, this means there will likely be more ships coming in and out, more containers to load and unload, and consequently more hours available for work. It also can mean job security. A rising PMI can indicate a healthy manufacturing environment, which leads to job security. If manufacturers are doing well and producing more, they won't cut jobs, and that can create a stable situation for dock workers. So think about this as well, right? Because let's say our manufacturing PMI is up high, right? And that means that companies are producing more things. And when companies produce things, it's not only for inside the United States. They're producing things. It's also for export. So these dock workers would be able to be loading ships to go out as well. So in addition to them unloading the ships for the goods that we're importing, they're also able to load the ships for the goods that we're sending out. So that is a lot of that helps with the job security, right? All right, so wages and negotiations. A strong PMI might empower unions to negotiate better wages or benefits. If manufacturing is doing well and pressure on the supply chain is high, employers may be willing to offer better pay to retain workers and ensure that shipping operations run smoothly. That is true. It just depends on the nature of the negotiations, because do you guys remember, actually, now that I think about it, on January 15th-ish, there was supposed to be the union dock workers like renegotiation strikes type thing, and I never heard about it again. It just came like it was a big thing back. It was actually a really, really big thing right before the election, and then all of a sudden, they came to some agreement. They said we'll revisit it like right before inauguration day, and then I never heard anything about it again. So that was interesting. All right, so let's see supply chain effects. A high PMI means that more raw materials are being sourced. If manufacturers need to get more materials delivered quickly, dock workers might find that they have to work extra shifts or deal with increased activity at the docks. So, I mean, more work, don't threaten me with a good time. That's pretty cool. So in summary, for a union dock worker, a high PMI is generally a good sign. It suggests increased work opportunities, potential for better pay, and job security because more products must be shipped in and out of the docks. Conversely, a low PMI might indicate a slowdown in manufacturing, which could lead to fewer shipments, reduced work hours, or even layoffs. Bruh. Let's not talk about that. So keeping an eye on the PMI helps dock workers understand what's happening in the broader economy and how it might affect their day-to-day work life. And that is why I like to use these different roles, because I honestly believe all these indicators affect different parts of, like, it affects everybody, right? And seeing how this PMI number can affect the dock worker, it's like, wow, well then how can it affect the nurse? How can it affect a funds processing manager? How can it affect a content creator? How can it affect somebody who works in cybersecurity? How can it affect somebody who works in QA? How can it affect a garbage truck driver? I like to see all the connections between the economic information to tech to whatever it is that you do. You know what I mean? So that's what is going on there, right? But with that being said, let's jump into the information, and then once we're done with that, we'll go to break, and check the chat, and then we will go over to the services PMI, the non-manufacturing one. All right. So we're looking at manufacturing PMI, view report, and agree. All right. So manufacturing PMI at 50.3%, February 2025. So 50.3%, right? If we remember correctly, right? It says above 50, it's the manufacturing sector is expanding. But I saw some article headlines that said that, well, although I wish this, let me see. Oh my God, let me see if Bloomberg is working, which is probably not. So it's not working at all because we're not even able. So yeah, I figured it wouldn't work with Bloomberg if it doesn't work with mine because I'm using the same one that Bloomberg is using. But it was. I think they were expecting like maybe a little higher, but if it's above 50, right? I mean, we're still in like we might be expanding a little bit slower, but we're still expanding. But I was seeing like some articles saying, "Oh my God, we're going in the wrong direction." I'm like, but we're still a little bit above 50. All right. So, all right. So let's read this. It says economic activity in the manufacturing sector expanded for the second month in a row in February after 26 months of contraction. What? I'm sorry. Let me see if I'm crazy, right? February PMI. Let's go to news. Am I crazy? Services PMI at 53. Let's see, manufacturing. Let me see. So this FX Street manufacturing PMI eases to 50.3 in February. So it says it eases, right? So missed the U.S. ISM manufacturing PMI missed consensus in February. The U.S. dollar remains well on the defensive on Monday, right? But reading over here from the source itself, right? Economic activity in manufacturing sector expanded for the second month in a row in February. So that means it expanded in January, it expanded in February after 26 months of contraction, says Nation Supply executives in manufacturing ISM report on business. The report today was issued by Timothy R. Fior, chair of Institute of Supply Management, Manufacturing Business Survey Committee. The manufacturing PMI registered at 50.3% in February, 0.6% points lower compared to 50.9% recorded in January. The overall economy continued, so it went down by 0.6%, right? The overall economy continued in expansion for the 58th month after 1 month of contraction in April 2020. A manufacturing PMI is above 42.3% over a period of time generally indicates an expansion of the overall economy. The new orders index dropped back into contraction territory after expanding for 3 months, registering at 48.6%. So that one is going down. 6.5 percentage points lower than the 55.1% recorded in January. So that's a big drop. That is a big drop. The February reading of the production index, 50.7, is 1.8 percentage points lower than January's figure of 52.5%. The index expanded for the second month in a row after 8 months in contraction. The prices index surged further into expansion or increasing territory, registering 62.4%, up 7.5 percentage points compared to the reading of 54.9% in January. And that is for the prices index. All right, so the backlog of orders index registered at 46.8%, 1.9 percentage points, up 1.9 percentage points compared to the 44.9 recorded in January. The employment index registered at 47.6%, down 2.7 percentage points from January's 50.3. So it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. Some things I think the most important is the 50.3. Although it dropped 0.6, it is still above 50, which is a good sign for us. Let's see. The supplier deliveries index indicated further slowing deliveries, registering 54.5 percentage points, 3.6 percentage points higher than 50.9% percent recorded in January. Let's see. It says supplier deliveries on ISM is an index that's reversed. A reading above 50 indicates slower deliveries, which is typical as the economy improves and customer demand increases. So supplier deliveries, if it's slowing down, that's a good thing because it means that there's more orders coming in. So that's actually helpful. The inventories index registered 49.9%, up 4 percentage points compared to January's reading of 45.9%. So like I said, it's a mixed bag, but it looks like things are, for the most part, in the right direction. And if you guys heard about all of these manufacturing wins that came in between the past couple of weeks, so from what Apple said, they're going to be, I forgot how much is Apple going to be investing, or Apple invests, is it 500 billion? Apple will spend more than 500 billion in the US over the next 4 years. That in manufacturing, right? Apple to invest more than 500 billion in the US in manufacturing. If this happens, right? If this happens, adding 20, like, see, Apple announces 500 billion US investment plan, adding 20K jobs. If that happens, right? Because everything is an if, you never know. But if that happens, then where are we? If that happens, then it's going to make our manufacturing numbers go up. I think they said Honda is going to be producing cars in Indiana. They're open, either they have a plant or they're opening up a plant to produce the next Civic, the next Honda Civics in the United States. So that's going to contribute to manufacturing. What is that other? What is that company? Taiwan Semiconductor Chip. They said they're going to be opening a plant in Arizona, so that's going to contribute to manufacturing in the United States, also contributing to more jobs. And it's not only going to be jobs that are on the line; it's going to be HR jobs, it's going to be tech jobs and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. All right. So it says, Fear continues. U.S. manufacturing activity expanded marginally for the second month in a row in February after 26 consecutive months of contraction. Demand weakened while output stabilized, and outputs for the first time in several months contributed to PMI growth. Indications that demand weakened include the new orders index dropped into contraction territory. New export orders index continued expanding, but at a slower rate. Backlog of orders index continued in contraction, but moved upwards, and customers' inventories index moved further into low territory. Output measured by the production and employment index was stable. Factory output marginally expanded compared to January, indicating that panelist companies are being cautious about ramping up output in the face of economic headwinds. The employment index moved back into contraction as panelist companies continue to release workers. More companies cited, Ms. Freckles, help me out with this word, attriting down as the best process, with destaffing not as urgent as it was in the second half of 2024. Inputs defined as supplier deliveries, inventories, prices, and imports revealed the first signs of supplier difficulties due to some pull forward deliveries and discussions about who will pay for tariffs. Inventories recovered somewhat as a result. Let's see, what else do we have? Demand eased, production stabilized, and destaffing continued as panelist companies experienced the first operational shock of new administration tariff policy. Although I don't think any tariffs have actually started yet. Okay. Price growth and accelerated due to tariffs, causing new order placement backlogs, so supplier delivery stoppages, and manufacturing inventory impact. Although tariffs do not go into full force until mid-March, spot commodity prices have already risen about 20%. 24% of manufacturing gross domestic product contracted in February, down from 43% in January. It says the share of manufacturing sector GDP registering a composite PMI calculations at or below 45%. A good barometer of overall manufacturing weakness was 2% in February, a 6% point improvement compared to the 8% reported in January. The six largest manufacturing industries for petroleum and coal products, food, beverage and tobacco products, chemical products, and transportation equipment expanded in February, equaling the number in January. The 10 manufacturing industries reporting growth in February listed in order are petroleum and coal, miscellaneous manufacturing. What is miscellaneous manufacturing? It says primary metals, wood products, food, beverage, and tobacco products. Why do they combine food, beverage, and tobacco? I don't think tobacco is a food or a beverage. I think it should be separate. I don't like tobacco being combined with food and beverage. I think that's just wrong. Electrical equipment, appliances and components, chemical products, plastic and rubber products, fabricated metal products, and transportation equipment. The 5 industries reporting contraction in February are furniture-related products, textile mills, non-metallic mineral products, computers and electronic products, and machinery. What respondents are saying: the tariffs environment regarding products from Mexico and Canada has created uncertainty and volatility among our customers and increased our exposure to retaliatory measures from these countries. Look, all right, listen up. They're gonna try to puff out their chest, all right? These other countries are gonna try to puff out their chest, but listen to me here. Listen to me. And what's up, Peter Investor? What's up, me, Mysify? Peter Investor probably has a much. You know what, Peter Investor, do me a favor. I'm gonna say something which it might be totally wrong, and feel free to clean it up. If I'm wrong, just say you're wrong on that. This is what it really is. But I am of the belief, and this is I have the same belief for my personal life as well, right? But I am of the belief that all of these other countries need us way more than we need them, right? I have the same belief for my personal life. I don't chase anybody, right? I work really, really, really hard so that I am needed more than I need anybody, right? Like, I will always figure it out. And I think that the US is strong enough to always figure it out. And it might look scary at first, but look, we are the big dogs, all right? And we're gonna get what we want. That's just how I see it. I could be wrong, and I'm open to correction on that. But that's just how I see it, right? Anyways. It says customers are pausing on new orders as a result of uncertainty regarding tariffs. There is no clear direction from the administration on how they will be implemented, so it's hard to project how they will affect business. That's from transportation equipment. Tariff impacts has been minimal to overall manufacturing and raw material supply. Limits on U.S. government spending in key organizations like the Food and Drug Administration, Environment Protection Agency, and National Institutes of Health are delaying some orders. And that's it because limits on U.S. government spending. I think this will make the manufacturing boom for the FDA to work more efficiently and faster in approving certain things. For the EPA to, I think for all these organizations, these government organizations to work faster, because you're not going to tell me that it is acceptable to have to wait 10 to 15 years to get something approved, right? National Institute of Health are delaying. I think those are the things that's going to also boost manufacturing like tremendously if they can stop slow walking things and work more efficiently. Like I know my federal employee friends, they hate what I talk about, like the efficiency and stuff like that. But in the private sector, we are forced to be efficient, because if we are not efficient, we're closing. And layoffs are going to happen, right? And even when you are efficient, you still have to do some layoffs in order to meet your stakeholder requirements, right? Or your shareholder requirements. And for me, I'm like, look, we need to be more efficient. Right, like if I was there, I'd say, all right, we're going to implement Scrum or Kanban, and we're going to be having our daily stand-ups where we're going to be talking about what we did yesterday, what we plan on doing today. If we have any obstacles, like I would turn all of the organizations or government departments into a lean working and they'll be working in like a software development mindset of Scrum or Kanban, depending on what they do, so that we can just get things moving. Like I hate slowness. I don't like being stagnant. All right. So anyways, I'm sorry to my federal friends. I know they hate when I talk about that, but please forgive me. I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry. Let's continue. Like I said, we have to stay on track here. Okay. It says inflation and pricing pressure continues to drive uncertainty in our 2025 outlook. We are seeing volume impacts due to pricing, with customers buying less and looking for substitution options. The incoming tariffs are causing our products to increase in price. Sweeping price increases are incoming from suppliers. Most are noting increases in labor costs. So labor costs or tariffs? Vendors are indicating open capacity. Inflationary pressures are a concern. Our company is working.
What's this? Oh, it's only money.
Oh my God, my guy, Peter Investor. What's up, Peter? Thank you so much, Peter Investor. I truly appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Let's finish this up and then we're going to get to the chat, all right? But thank you so much, Peter Investor. You are a blessing, all right? All right, so it says business is slow. Some indications of improved demand are 6 to 9 months out. Steel and scrap costs are increasing, and it's too early to tell how high they will go. New orders continue to be strong after picking up in December. The uncertainty about tariffs keeps us cautious on spending despite the strong sales right now. That's from electrical equipment and appliances. Let's see. Management now has us running scenarios to project tariff impacts to our business. They want numbers in 24 hours on variables that equate to a wild guess. Interesting time to live in now. That's from non-metallic mineral products. Internal analysis ongoing about impact of tariffs, but nothing concrete yet. General business conditions remain tepid. Outlook on the durable side of growing more pessimistic, with growing domestic inventories in automobiles from plastic and rubber products. Customer volume seems to be better than 2024. Well, shout out to you. And it says general business conditions remain. All right, we read that. Customer volumes seems to be better than 2024. However, customers are still very hesitant to commit to long-term volume due to market uncertainty caused by proposed tariffs on steel/aluminum imports. So that's our manufacturing information for the month of February. We're going to go back to full screen. And I'm going to check the chat to see what is going on with my friends. All right, so let me just take care of this one first. We have Peter Investor with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Peter Investor. All right, let's get to let me say hi first to my friends. And then we got me, Mysify, in the building. Says good morning to Ralph, Roxy, Freckles, Spaces, Peter Investor, and the chat. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you as well, my guy, me, Mysify. Let me see. We got Peter Investor as well saying, salute to you and your chat. Salute to you as well, Peter Investor.
We the best.
And we got Spaces in the building as well. Where is Spaces? Well, I said I did get Spaces already, but I'll say it again. Good morning, Spaces. How are you doing today? All right, let's get to the chat real quick. Let's see. We have right here. Miss Freckles says, embrace the change. Let's see. And Miss Freckles helping me out at Triting. I don't think that helped me much, Miss Freckles. I don't think. At Triting. I tried. Let's see. We have Spaces says tobacco. That is a good point, Spaces. It can be chewed. It can be chewed. I have to give you that. It can be chewed. That is so terrible. I hate to say that you're right about that. Let's see. Peter Investor says yes, indeed, because we are a consumer economy. It says the key to the currency. The key is the currency manipulation, theirs versus the dollar. And didn't they say like Japan was gonna get some type of punishment for them manipulating their currency against our currency? And Peter Investor says, in order for tariffs to work, we need a huge government cut. Hint, Doge inception. What? I agree. This whole like when people are saying like, we're gonna cut quote unquote cut Social Security. For me, I never take it as the payments to Social Security. I do think that there's better ways of handling it to actually get more out of it. Like when we take a look at like how the stock market does and stuff like that, if they were to properly invest this money instead of like the Ponzi scheme that it is, probably a lot better. But for me, when they talk about like cutting this and that, I see cutting the bureaucracy around it and making it more efficient. That's how I see it. But people make it seem like, oh my God, they're going to be throwing Granny off a cliff and stuff like that. I'm like, no, they're not throwing Granny off a cliff. They might be throwing the people who slowly process this stuff and make it so inefficient, and they're so rude at these government agencies that they might be throwing them off a cliff. But I don't think Granny's being thrown off a cliff. All right. Let's see. Miss Freckles says TCR's face when he gets the interruption is hilarious. Come on, why you gotta call me out like that? Why you gotta call me out like that, Miss Freckles? Come on. Let's see. Mimazify says, I'm good, trying to put out new content again. Let's get it. Let's get it. Look, Mimazify, I cannot blame you at all because you do a lot of work outside and in the garage, and it's been freezing up there. I think the sun is starting to come back out for you guys. So I trust me, the type of content that you make, it is hard to do it, especially if you're working in your garage and it's not insulated and stuff. So I get it. I truly get it, but I'm looking forward to seeing that content. I'm looking forward. All right. Let's see. And by the way, yes, you know what? Thank you, Roxy. New subscriber. I'm going to do this. I am going to do this. Let me go to, where do I find this? Try that again. Let's do that. You guys go and subscribe to my guy, Mimazify. He does some really cool content about car sounds and stuff like that. Like not car sounds, but like amplifiers, speaker tests, stuff like that. Really cool stuff, right? So go check him out. Boom. Go check out Mimazify. Thank you for saying that, Roxy, that you subscribe. That because when you said new subscriber, I wasn't sure what you meant. But then as I was reading, I was like, okay, that's what you meant. And I'm like, you know what? You were right. Go check out Mimazify. I like his content, and we had some conversations like a year ago, and the growth that I've seen in the past year, it is absolutely amazing with Mimazify. Let's see. I gotta see it from. Oh my goodness, you're too funny. All right, let's get rid of that one. All right, cool. So that is so that's that. Now it's time for us to get into the services PMI. All right, so let's get back to work. All right, so we're gonna go back to our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. Let's see if this thing got its act together yet. Yes, we're back. All right. So the forecast. So the previous was 50.6 for the manufacturing PMI, right? 50.9. They forecasted 50.6, but we got 50.3. So that's what I was looking for. But we're still in expansion territory for now. Hopefully we don't dip under 40, under 50. But now we're going to be looking at our non-manufacturing PMI, which is also known as our services PMI, right? So let's do PMI, and we're gonna do services managers index, the purchasing managers index for non-manufacturing. All right, and so let's take a look at what it is, and if anybody has a job type or career type that you want me to do as our example, please drop it in the chat and I'll make sure to use that. But let's take a look at what the services PMI is, right? So imagine you go to places like restaurants, hair salons, or even your favorite online store to buy things like clothes or games. All these places provide services. They don't make things like factories do, but they help you do things or offer products you need. The services managers index, also called the non-manufacturing PMI, is a number that tells us how well these service businesses are doing. It's kind of like a report card for the entire service industry. Above 50 means service businesses are doing well. They're busy, hiring more workers, and lots of people are using their services. Below 50 means businesses are slowing down. Fewer people are eating out, shopping online, or getting haircuts. So businesses might not need as many workers or supplies. So I already have an idea of a business type to search for, but if you guys have a better one, we'll use that one. All right. Why is it important? It's important because it tells us whether the economy is healthy or struggling. If it's on the struggle bus, if services PMI is high, it's like the businesses are saying we're busy and people are spending money. It says if this is good because more people have jobs and businesses are growing. If the services PMI is low, it's like the businesses are saying things are slow and fewer people are using their services. This could be a warning that the economy is not doing well and businesses might need to cut back on hiring or even close down. All right. So I'm going to use the example of a nail salon shop, right? Because that's a service. How does that affect a nail shop? All right, so let's see. So here's the impact on a nail salon, right? Understanding trends. The PMI improves. The PMI provides insight into the general economic conditions. If the PMI is rising, it indicates that services sector is expanding. For a nail salon, this means more potential customers are likely to have disposable income to spend on services like manicures and pedicures, and it has to be gel. Don't get the acrylic, get the gel. All right. Conversely, if the PMI is falling, it could mean that people are tightening their budget, which might lead to fewer customers at the salon. Hiring and staffing decisions. A high PMI may prompt the nail salon owner to hire more staff to accommodate an increase in customers. If the index indicates growth, they might consider adding nail technicians or front desk staff to manage the higher volume of the business. On the other hand, if the PMI drops significantly, they might reconsider their staffing levels to reduce labor costs. Supplier relationships and costs. The PMI can also influence the cost of products. The cost of products that salons use, like nail polish, tools, and other supplies. If the PMI suggests that the demand in the service sector is strong, suppliers may increase their prices due to higher demand for their goods, which could affect the salon's operating costs. Marketing strategies. If understanding of the PMI trends can help the nail salon develop its marketing strategies. If the economy appears strong, indicated by a rising PMI, the salon might invest more into marketing to attract new clients, perhaps by launching new services or offering promotions. If the PMI is weak, they might stick to more cost-effective marketing strategies or focus on loyalty programs for existing clients. So if the market is weak, try to retain your loyal clients. If it's growing, then you try to bring more people in and turn them into loyal clients as well. All right. So basic marketing 101. So in summary, the services PMI index affects the nail salon by providing insights into economic conditions that can influence customer behaviors, staffing, supply costs, and overall business strategies. By keeping an eye on this index, salon owners can make informed decisions to help their business thrive, right? So let's go to the report for the services PMI. Once we're done with this one, then we're gonna get into the job numbers for the week or for the month. All right, let's see. Services PMI. Okay. All right. So we are at 53.5% PMI for services. So this one also from Tempe, Arizona. So it says economic activity in the services sector expanded for the 8th consecutive month in February. Says nation purchasing and supply executives in the latest ISM report on business. The services PMI registered at 53.5%, indicating expansion for the 54th time in 57 months since recovering from the coronavirus pandemic-induced recession began in 2020. This report was issued by Steve Miller, the chair of the Institute for Supply Management Services Business Committee. So Timothy is for the manufacturing. Steve is for the services. In February, the services PMI registered at 53.5, 0.7 points, percentage points higher than January's 52.8. So manufacturing seems to be going down a little bit, but services is going up. All right, so that's cool. Let's see. The business activity index registered 54.5% in February, 0.1 percentage points lower than the 54.5 percentage points in January. To me, that's like no major difference, right? Says this is the index 57th consecutive month of expansion. The new orders index recorded a reading of 52.2% in February, 0.9 percentage points higher than the January figure of 51.3. The employment index remained in expansion territory for the 5th consecutive month. The reading of 53.9% is 1.6 points increase compared to 52.3% recorded in January. Let's see. What else do we want to read? The prices index registered 62.6% in February. I'm not going to get into every single last detail about this. 14 industries reported growth. So let's get 14 industries reported growth in February, equaling the previous month's total. The services PMI expanded in 54 of the last 57 months, dating back to June 2020. The February reading of 53.5% not only exceeds the January reading of 52.8%, but is also a full percentage point above the average PMI reading of 52.5 for the last 12 months. All right, so that's awesome. All right, so let's go into the industries, right? So the 14 service industries reporting on growth in February listed in order. Other services, that's very broad. Finance and insurance, wholesale trade, utilities, agriculture, forestry, fishing and hunting, mining, real estate, rental and leasing, healthcare and social assistance, construction, transportation and warehousing, accommodations for food and services, accommodations and food services, professional scientific technical services, information and public administration. The three industries reporting a contraction in the month of February are management of companies and support services, retail trade, and educational services. All right, so let's see what people are saying. So tariffs again has created chaos in information and pricing measures. There's great uncertainty about business future activities due to risk of tariffs. So everybody is scared and terrified of tariffs. Implementation of tariffs will have a significant cost impact to our projects. University is still digesting the current potential changes with federal assistance programs for educational services. Great. Let's see. Tariffs are going to have a ripple down effect that could severely harm our business. Let's see. I think weather is terrible when it's and that's for wholesale trade. When it is not cold and snowy, it seems to be raining. All right, I honestly think that's everything for the services PMI. Most people are still are concerned about tariffs. When it's interesting that, I mean, I don't think any of us were around in like early 1900s, but tariffs used to be the standard, and we did not have income tax, right? We had tariffs, but we didn't have income tax. I have a question for the chat, right? I'll make it a poll. But the question is, would you rather have a little bit higher prices but don't pay any income tax, or get lower prices but pay a lot of income tax, right? Let me start a poll. Would you rather pay higher prices at the store with no income tax, or income tax with lower prices with lower prices? All right, let's do that. So I'm going to say our options are higher prices, no income tax, lower prices with income tax. All right, so that's our poll, right? Would you rather pay higher prices at the store with no income tax, or income tax with lower prices? So the same income tax you're paying now, but you continue to have allegedly lower prices, all right? So that is the poll that I just started. I'm just curious to see what you guys are going to say about it, all right? All right. With that being said, let's go back to full screen. And let me check the chat to see what we got going on. Let's see. I can, although you're talking to me, myself, I can give some insight in that, which I'm sure me, myself, would say the same thing. Audio for cars, because I've had my share of different type of alarms on cars. I used to be a big car person, but the reason that a lot of people don't do car like alarm systems and remote start and stuff like that is because the wiring system for all the cars are different, and if you mess something with that up, it's going to be a nightmare. As opposed to like audio systems, they all pretty much follow the same format. Like all the cars end up following the same format for the most part. So that's why people feel more comfortable with, like, you know, setting up the sound systems and stuff like that than diving into the whole electrical system of a car. Because like if you have the chip in your key, then you need to do some custom modifications so that you can still actually be able to use that remote start. So it's car alarms and stuff like that. It is a mess. Like I understand why people avoid them like the plague. You know, the people who like really good people who are good with electrical and stuff like that and reading the diagram, they end up they end up more tending to go into the car alarm stuff. But the alarm that I have on my car, it took like 5 hours, like 5 to 6 hours to get that installed. It was crazy. I was working over at the swap shop down here while they were working on it. It was crazy. Yeah, like me myself, I said, yep, that's a different world. It is car remote starts and alarm systems. They are crazy. Peter Investor says, I have a question off topic. Which is better for self-defense and offensive attacks between jiu-jitsu and silat? Well, I have absolutely no idea what silat is. But I can't say which one is better because I don't know what silat is. But I would say if you're thinking about for self-defense, right? If you're getting attacked, I think that when you get taken down to the ground, because all fights end up on the ground, right? You're either gonna be standing up, you get knocked out, and you fall to the ground, or they try to take you down, they try to like to tackle you, or whatever, right? So what is important is that you need to be able to know what to do on the ground, how to control somebody, how to move them around, how to break their arm, how to choke them if you need to, right? So that's why, like, you know, knowing how to punch, knowing how to kick, how to box, those are important. But if you get hit and you get taken down to the ground, you need to know how to act, right? You know, like wrestling is really good too, right? But you need to know how to react, how to control the person and stuff like that, how to put them in ways that they cannot move. And as far as offense, a lot of time in the blink of an eye in jiu-jitsu, you can go from defense right into offense, because there's plenty of times where I'm baiting people, where I'm setting up like 3 moves ahead, right? Because jujitsu is more of, it's like a chess match, right? I'm setting up like 3 moves ahead, right? Where I am leading them to somewhere that I want them to get to, and then slap. They can't breathe. They can't breathe. The other day, I was training with somebody, right? And he saw what I was going for, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to defend it. I'm going to defend it," right? And I let him defend it, but then I made a slight adjustment in what I was doing, and then he started gargling. He's like, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe." It was crazy. I had to laugh. It was so crazy because they thought they had one over on me, right? And I said, I got you exactly where I wanted you to be. All right. So I can't say for Silat, but I can say that jiu-jitsu, both offense and defense, you're going to be in a great spot over there. All right. Let's see what else we got. Real estate, industrial, financial, from Peter Investor, and it says there is a net effect if there is no income tax, more money at hands, plus pay little more due to tariffs, but bringing down inflation is needed to close the loop. 100% agree. And I think there's so many things that are not working in our favor, like the debt, the deficit, the amount that we pay in taxes, or some people pay in taxes, right? Like, it's like you get punished for your hard work, right? So if you're making like $200,000 a year, right? Whether you're married or you're single, they're coming for that they're coming for that check, right? So it's ridiculous, and then here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. They don't spend it the way that like you honestly, like, the only choice, the only say that you have in how they spend it is who you vote for, right? Like, and if you win, because guess what? If you lose, then you're still under the leadership of people that you don't agree with, and they're just sending billions and billions of dollars all over the world, right? So, totally understand what you're saying there. We got Trebek 123 in the building. Good morning, Trebek. How are you? Trebek says tariffs are getting out of control. They haven't officially started yet, right? I don't know. Let's see. Says let's choke out tariffs. Let's see. All right. Perfect. All right. Now we're going to be transitioning to our job numbers for the week. Trebek, I'm going to be sending you an email this week so we can see, okay, what is the next steps on what we were talking about for the processing, the app to process the economic information that you have. I'm going to be emailing you this coming week. I'm going to be emailing maybe this week, and I'll email you, right? But I already decided to, I already assigned somebody to take lead on that project. I have somebody that I'm coaching. They just started working in banking, and I was like, you know what, you would be a good fit to take the lead on developing this project. I'm going to be getting in contact with you soon, and then we'll make a connection where the person that I'm coaching, they can get in contact with you to start saying, okay, what do you have in mind? And we can start building something out, because I think that your idea is excellent. All right, cool. All right, so let's get back to here, and let me just read these final chats. Says very nice. It is you know what? I'll put it like this, right? My personality is whoever wants to work, I don't mind working with them, right? And if somebody has a good idea, then I am all for it. And I want like, I might not be able to be 100% because I'm doing so many different things, right? But I like your idea because it is going to add value, and it also allows me to use the people that are trying to better themselves and trying to learn putting them in the positions to use that stuff, So I really appreciate you reaching out to me and sending me what you have in mind, and we're gonna figure out how to get it to work the right way. All right. So let's jump back over here. Let's get to our next one. All right. So next up, we're gonna be looking at the we don't look at this ADP one. We're going to be looking at, do we look at this ADP? No, we don't. We're going to be looking at unemployment rate and so we're going to be looking at these numbers over here, non-farm payrolls. And so I'm just going to do a general search for jobs. Let me see what we have under jobs. All right, so jobs. So we don't have the JOLTS yet. Let's see if this is the monthly job report. You know what I need to do? I need to update these indicators to put in the date of release so that we can have that as well. Because I think that although having this right here is helpful, but I think on the like we can have a field here like release date, and we'll say like 5th of every month, right? Or first week of every month, something like that, so we can know, so we can have a good idea, right? But before I read the monthly jobs report, let me go to the link to see if it's released yet, because I don't want to waste time something that's not released yet. So this is a release. So it was released Friday, March. So that's one that we want to look at. All right. So let's see what it is. All right. So monthly job reports. The monthly job report is like a big snapshot that shows us how many people in the country have jobs, how many people are looking for jobs, and how much money people are making. It's created by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, and comes out every month. This report tells us three things: how many jobs were added or lost. This is like counting how many new job opportunities were created, like if new stores opened and needed workers, or how many jobs disappeared if some businesses closed down. The unemployment rate, this tells us how many people are looking for jobs and can't find one. It's like a percentage that shows how many adults are not working but are still trying to get a job. How much people are being paid. The report also shows whether the amount of money people are earning is going up or staying the same. This is called average hourly earnings. This is important. Why is this important? This report is important because it gives us a sense of how the economy is doing. It helps everyone from government to business owners and to everyday people make decisions. Here's why. If lots of jobs are being added, it means companies are hiring more workers because they are growing. This is usually a sign that the economy is doing well and people are likely to spend money. If fewer jobs are being added or jobs are being lost, it could be a warning that the economy is slowing down, meaning businesses might be cutting costs and not hiring new workers. Then the unemployment rate helps the government know how many people are struggling to find work so they can think about ways to help, like creating more job programs. If wages are going up, it means that businesses might be competing to hire workers so they have to offer better pay. If wages aren't increasing, people might feel like they have less money to spend. Let's see. All right, so let's get a customized example. I'm gonna go with. Let's go with a. Oh, I have one. Let's say a tech company CTO, right? All right, so how can this report specifically impact a chief technology officer, CTO, at a tech company? Hiring decisions. If the report shows that many jobs are being created and the unemployment rate is low, it might indicate a tight labor market. For a CTO, this means it could be harder to find and hire qualified tech talent. They might need to increase salaries or offer better benefits to attract candidates, right? So the tech field is very competitive, right? But while it can be competitive, they can like just decide to start doing layoffs for whatever reason at the drop of a dime, right? So aside from that, like I always say, that's why you have to position yourself to be the best, to have the best work ethic. You don't have to know everything, but you need to have the best work ethic in order so that when these shifts in the market happen, like with let's say you're able to adjust and you're able to add value wherever it is that you go, right? So I always tell you guys, make sure that you're adding value wherever it is that you are. Says budgeting for tech projects. A strong job reports might suggest that the economy is doing well. If the tech company is planning a new project or expanding its team, a positive economic outlook could make it easier to secure funding for these initiatives. Conversely, if the report shows high unemployment and slow job growth, the CTO might need to be more cautious with spending. Talent strategy. If the report indicates a growing tech sector with more companies hiring, this could lead to increased competition for skilled workers. The CTO might need to develop strategies to retain existing employees and attract new ones, such as investing in professional development or improving workplace culture. So those improvements would be higher salary. It could be more restrictive stock units that you get, that is provided, the equity, because a lot of people, they don't understand the value of equity, but if your company is giving you equity, whether they're a public company or a private company, you are you have an ownership in the company, right? So for me, like when I know, like I'll give you an example, right? For me, the company that I work for, they give you how much is it? They give you a certain amount of restricted stock units every year, right? However, one of the caveats is that you can only get 20% of it. So let's say for my first year when I was working there, right? I got allocated 100,000 RSUs, right? However, in the first year, only 20% of them get vested. So 20,000 is vested, right? And then in my second year, I get another 10,000 allocated to me, but only 20% of the first year and now the second year get allocated to me, right? So that means I have the 20,000 RSUs from the first year, 20,000 more vested from the first year in my second year, plus 20,000 that I just got from my second year. So I'm at like 60,000. So I'll be at like 60,000 RSUs. And then that are vested while there's a lot more that's still pending, you know? So those RSUs, the 401ks and stuff like that, those are part of the strategy that these companies have to come up with in order to retain talent, you know? So don't just go based off your base salary. You have to go based off the total compensation package, right? Because you might see a base salary of like, let's say $100,000, right? But your total compensation package might be like $200,000 based on like healthcare, 401k, the stock options that you get. Maybe they have some educational resources that you get. Part of the problem is that a lot of people don't take advantage of those resources. Okay. So yeah, just putting that in mind. And the wealth building journey, tell me you have YouTube Premium without telling me you have YouTube Premium, right? Because you said 4X. Did they release that feature already? I saw an email saying that they were adding up to 4X playback speed. So they must have added it already. But you know, just CJ, when you know, right? When you know. All right. Let's see. Client and revenue predictions. A good job report generally signals increased customer spending as more people are employed. For a tech company, this could mean more businesses are investing in technology, leading to potential revenue growth. CTO might align technology strategy to meet increased demand and adapting to market changes. If the report shows a slowdown in job growth, the CTO might decide to adjust their technology roadmap. They might focus on enhancing existing products to maintain customer loyalty or streamline operations to reduce cost. Let's see. All right. So that's that. Let's jump into the report. Let me just take a quick look at this again. So we have our non-farm. I think I think the unemployment rate is going to go into that report. So we shall see. All right, let's go and take a look at that. Okay, so this was released March 7th, 2025 by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Total non-farm payroll employment rose by 151,000 in February, and the unemployment rate changed little at 4.1% in the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today. Employment trended up in healthcare, financial activities, transportation and warehousing, and social assistance. Federal government employees. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's messed. That is messed up. Why would you say this? Federal government employment declined. Thank you, Captain Obvious. All right, I'm just messing around. It says this news release presents statistics from 2 monthly surveys. The household survey measures labor force status, including unemployment by demographic characteristics, similar to what Trebek was saying about the labor participation rate, which is at 63%, he believes. So it says, so let's continue. So household survey data, both unemployment rate at 4.1% and number of unemployed people at 7.1 million changed little in February, not a big change. The unemployment rate has remained in a narrow range of 4% to 4.2% since May of 2024. Among the major worker groups, the unemployment rate for whites, 3.8%, increased in February. The jobless rates for adult men, 3.8%, adult women, 3.8%, teenagers, 12.9%, black, 6%, Asians, 3.2%. So are you, wait, what? Are you telling me that Asians have the lowest unemployment rate? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
Bruh.
Asians' unemployment rate is at 3.2%. Hispanics at 5.2% showed little change over the month. So whites are at 3.8%, blacks at 6%, teenagers at 12.9%, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, whatever. But Asians at 3.2% with the lowest unemployment rate. All right, so it says the number of long-term unemployed, those jobless for 27 weeks or more, is at 1.5 million, unchanged little in February. Changed little in February. The long-term unemployment accounted for 20.9% of all unemployed people. The employment population ratio decreased by 0.2 percentage points to 59.9% in February, but showed little change for a year earlier. The labor force participation rate at 62.4% changed little over the month and over the year. The number of people employed part-time for economic reasons increased by 460,000 to 4.9 million in February. These individuals would have preferred full-time employment but were working part-time because their hours had been reduced or they were unable to find full-time jobs. The number of people not in the labor force who wanted a job, the number of people marginally attached to the labor force at 1.7 million changed little in February. These individuals wanted and were available for work and had looked for a job sometime in the prior 12 months, but had not looked for work in the 4 weeks preceding the survey. The number of discouraged workers, don't be discouraged. Just don't be discouraged, right? A subset of the marginally attached who believed that no jobs were available for them decreased by 128,000 to 464. Decreased by 128,000 to 464,000 in February. So, my message to any discouraged worker who believes that there is no job available for you, right? Look, I'm gonna go full screen real quick, right? I'm gonna do a quick PSA, right? For anybody who is a discouraged worker who believe that there is no job available for you, I will say this, right? Change your circumstances, change your skill set, right? Find the jobs find the industry that needs people and go and learn those skills. And now there will be jobs available for you, but we cannot, I repeat, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. You cannot just sit and hope. Hope sucks, right? Hope sucks. Like I hate hope. Not the person hope. I love hope, right? I hate the feeling of relying on hope to make a difference in our lives, right? I say change your circumstances, change your skill set, change your education so that you can adapt to what is available instead of sitting and waiting and saying, oh, there's nothing for me, there's nothing for me, there's plenty for you as long as you make yourself available for the things that are there. The world changes and shifts every single day. You can't just live off that hope and complaining and all that stuff, right? To me, that is weakness. Complaining is weakness, right? Complaining is weakness. We need to adjust our circumstances. You'll appreciate this, Peter Investor. Well, my professor says, like, sometimes there's somebody who's a lot stronger than you, who is holding you down, and you can't move them. So in those circumstances, you move yourself, right? So if you're here, right? If you're here, right? And you see the things are over there, you need to find a way to adjust so that you can be in the position from here to here, so that you can be seen, and then you can participate, right? So that's just my quick PSAT, right? So let's finish this up. All right. So total non-farm payment employment rose by 151,000 in February, similar to the average monthly gain of 168 in the prior 12 months. In February, employment trended up in healthcare, financial activities, transportation and warehousing, and social assistance. Federal employment declined. Healthcare added 52,000 jobs in February, in line with the average monthly gain of 54,000 over the prior 12 months. In February, job growth continued in ambulatory healthcare. Ms. Freckles, I got that one, Ms. Freckles. Ambulatory healthcare services, plus 26K, hospital plus 15K, and residential care facilities plus 12K. Employment and financial activities rose by 21K in February, above the prior 12-month average of gain of 5K. Over the month, employment continued to trend up in real estate and rental and leasing, 10K, and insurance carriers related activities, 5K. Commercial banking lost 5,000 jobs. Transportation and warehousing employment continued to trend up in February, plus 18K, in line with the average monthly gains over the past 12 months of plus 13K. Over the month, job growth occurred in couriers and messengers, plus 24K, and air transportations, plus 4K. Let's see. Employment in social assistance continued to trend up in February, plus 11K, below the average monthly gain over the prior 12 months, plus 21K. Over the month, employment and continued to trend up in individuals and family services, plus 10K. Within the government, federal government employees declined by 10K. They must have accepted a lot of resignations. Employment in retail trade changed little. I'm not gonna read all that. Let's see. Employment showed little change over the month for major industries. February average hourly earnings for all employees on private non-farm payrolls rose by 10 cents, by 10 whole cents.
Money.
Or 0.3% from 35.93 over the to $35.93 over the past 12 months. Average hourly earnings have increased by 4%. In February, average hourly earnings of private sector production and non-supervisory employees rose by 9%, or 0.3% to 30.89. Average work week for all employees on private non-farm payrolls was unchanged at 34.1. Manufacturing average work week remained at 40.1, and overtime edged by 0.1 points to 2.9 hours. Revision numbers: the change in total non-farm payroll employment for December was revised up by 16,000. Yeah, that's about it. That is about it. All right. So there we have it. I'm going to read the chat real quick. We are going to be going over just a little bit, but because we still have to review the crypto commentary from President Trump that took place yesterday at the crypto summit at the White House. So we're going to go a little bit over, but please bear with me. But I do want to read the chat, which is related to the job numbers before we get going. All right. So let's see. Trebek said, "I love my work." Oh, that's so sweet. Aww. I love my work as well. I will say this, right? No matter, like, for me, whatever I might be going through, right? Working and coding always makes it better. I could be stressed. I could be having like a bunch of problems with different things or people and stuff like that. I put on my Beats headphones, and I start to code. I start to edit. I start to whatever it is, and I forget about everything, everyone. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good right here, right? So when you do valuable work, you enjoy, like, it always brings you back to it. And so I totally agree with you on that, Trebek. And Ms. Freckles agrees with you as well. Trebek said another important metric is LPR, or labor participation rate, which I believe is around 60%. Trebek says, according to Phillips curve, if unemployment is low, then inflation is high, which is what we are observing right now. I have a theory on unemployment being low, right? Because we always hear about all these layoffs, right? So here's my theory, Trebek, and I'm just curious on your thoughts about this, right? When a lot of people were being taken in from other countries, given what do you call it, work authorization, right? They would not be considered quote unquote unemployed because they never worked here before, right? So once they get hired, then they contribute to the unemployment rate going down. So even if people who are legally in the U.S. who were working, and they lose their job, all the new people coming in who are given work visas, who are getting paid a lower wage, they would be contributing to the unemployment rate being able to kept low. By to me, if what I'm saying is right, that sounds like a little bit of market manipulation to me. But I that's just my theory. I could be totally wrong about that. It says, and Trebek says, yes, there is a vesting period. Yep. Peter Investor says, is it a stock? We have stocks. Like I believe we do have stock options, right? But we also get restrictive stock units where those get vested, like 20% every year or something like that. But it's like a compounding thing, because so in my second year, I got 40% because I got the second 20% from my first year and the first 40% from my second year, right? So that, to me, I think that's an amazing strategy to try to keep people and incentivize people to stay, because my cousin, who is starting a new job really, really soon, she's losing out on a bonus from her current job because she's going to be gone like a week before that, which sucks, right? Which sucks. We got my guy, the Wealth Building Journey, in the building. What's up, CJ? What's up, the Wealth Building Journey? Trebek says, plus taxes has to be paid on them to vest them. Tax man wants it all. Is that so? Because if I don't have if I don't have access to the money, do I have to pay tax on it? I don't know. You know what? I have to look into that. The Wealth Building Journey says catching up on Forex. Let's see. Trebek says most agents are on some kind of immigration visa, so if they're unemployed, they often have to leave the country, which reflects here as it's a survey and they're no longer around. That is very, very interesting insight. Look, I did not even consider that. Very, very interesting insight. Thank you so much for that. It kind of goes with my theory of the unemployment rate being down. When we hear a lot of layoffs, we hear a lot of people saying they can't find a job, but it's like, how is the unemployment rate so low? That's my theory, though. It says don't fail to prepare, else prepare to fail. Trebek says, yes, that's correct. But government handout also makes inflation rise. So the unemployment benefits actually make things more expensive overall, unfortunately. I agree. I I think a lot of stuff should be characterized. But that's a whole different, like, we don't have the time to talk about that, right? Because we still have to get to the video. So with that being said, let's get to the video. Let's get to the video. I am curious to review this crypto summit that took place at the White House yesterday, because this is the first time. Honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing crypto being spoken about from this high level. You hear some senators and some congresspeople talk about it, but it's like, but now that like crypto making it to the White House, let's talk about that. Alrighty, so we're gonna be watching this video. It's gonna be President Trump's remarks at the crypto summit that took place yesterday at the White House. Right, so let's watch, and I'm gonna put it on 2x. I will pause in between if I see some commentary for me to add. I have not watched this at all yet, so if you haven't watched this, I haven't watched this. It's gonna be our first time watching it together. Okay.
And it's an honor to be with you at the White House. I want to thank the White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs, Treasury Secretary. This is David right here, in case you don't know. You know David. And the man who's doing a great job as Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, who's right here. Scott, thank you very much. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, wherever you may be, Howard. Hi, Howard. He's doing some interesting work right now with all that's going on. And thank you. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce, Line Fam. Hello, Tom.
Let me try to skip through all of the introductions and get to the meat of the conversation.
Representative Council Director Bo, around the table, some of them will be speaking. I want to thank Marco Rubio in this subject. And last year, I promised to make America the Bitcoin superpower of the world and the crypto capital of the planet. And we're taking historic action to deliver on that promise, as you know, around the table. Yesterday, I signed an executive order officially creating our strategic Bitcoin reserve. And this will be a virtual Fort Knox for digital gold to be housed within the United States Treasury. That's a big thing, Scott. The federal government is already among the largest holders of Bitcoin, as you know, really one of the largest holders in the world, with as many as 200,000 Bitcoin obtained via civil law and various other forms of law, and including enforcement actions. These existing holdings will form the foundation of the new reserve. Unfortunately, in recent years, the U.S. government has foolishly sold tens of thousands of additional Bitcoin that were worth billions and billions of dollars had they not sold them, but they did sell them, mostly during the Biden administration. And not a good thing to have done. From this day on, America will follow the rule that every Bitcoin knows very well: never sell your Bitcoin. That's a little phrase that they have. I don't know if that's right or not. Who the hell knows, right? Who knows? Who knows? But so far, it's been right. And well, let's keep it that way. The Treasury and Commerce Departments will also explore new pathways to accumulate additional Bitcoin holdings for the reserve, provided it's done at no cost to the taxpayers. We don't want any cost to the taxpayers. In addition, my order directs federal agencies to conduct an inventory of all crypto assets currently held by the U.S. government and determine how they can be transferred easily to the Treasury. Non-Bitcoin digital assets will be held in a new U.S. digital asset stockpile where they will be managed properly. My administration also is working to end the federal bureaucracy's war on crypto, which was really going.
So my knowledge of crypto is really, really, really bad, right? So being that it's digital, like, and if anybody can answer this for me, and you guys have more knowledge, like, I don't know, Trebek, CJ, The Wealth Building Journey, Peter Investor, Spaces, Roxy, Me Mindset 5, Miss Freckles. If any of you guys know, right? When they say this digital currency, but I always hear that like you need it on a crypto wallet, I guess. So are they going to be storing crypto wallets somewhere? Like that's what I'm trying to understand. Like I'm not understanding like this digital Fort Knox. So if you guys can help me out with that, please do.
Going on pretty wildly during Biden until the election came about. About 5 months before the election, he became a big fan because he heard how many people were in favor of it and how many people love it and respect it. But I guess it didn't work out too well for him. People understood what was going on and paved the way for groundbreaking innovations in institutional finance. Under the Bitcoin administration, regulators strong-armed banks. I mean, they really did. They strong-armed banks into closing the accounts of crypto businesses and entrepreneurs, effectively blocking some money transfers to and from exchanges, and they weaponized government against the entire industry. But I know that feeling also. Maybe better than you do. All of that will soon be over, and we are ending Operation Choke Point 2.0. Now, some people really suffered. It was ridiculous what they were doing. But in the end, they came around, but they came around for the wrong reasons. They came around only because they wanted votes, and they saw that tens of millions of people were against them because of what they were doing. I also want to.
So I just did a quick Google search on what is Operation Choke Point 2.0. It says, let me see. Choke Point 2.0 was carried out by prudential regulators to target and debank the digital assets ecosystem. And I'm reading financial services at house.gov. Today, the House Financial Committee is holding an oversight and investigation. I don't want to read this one. I'm just trying to see, what is, all right, so this is, trying to get an understanding of what this choke. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a note of Choke Point 2.0 to next week we can review what it is, because I never heard about it before, but I do see that it's something about like prudential regulators to target and debank the digital assets ecosystem. So it looked like they were trying to get rid of crypto and stuff like that. All right, so we'll review that. I'll do some more investigation to see like what exactly that is for next week. All right, so let's keep going.
Express my strong support for the efforts of lawmakers in Congress as they work on bills to provide regulatory certainty for dollar-backed stablecoins and the digital assets market. They're working very hard on that. This is a tremendous opportunity for economic growth and innovation in our financial sector, and will really go a long way. I think it's going to be a tremendous. We feel like pioneers in a way, of tremendous method of growth, and things are very much tied, and we want to keep it that way. The U.S. dollar, long into the future, we're going to keep it that way. I hope lawmakers will send that legislation to my desk before August recess if they can. And they're very much working with you, and you know a lot of them, and a lot of them were committed right from the very beginning. So I just want to congratulate you all for being at the White House today, and a man who knows more about Bitcoin and AI and just about everything else than anybody, David Saxton. I'd like to have you say a few words, David.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're all here today because of your leadership, your vision, and your generosity, and I really want to thank you for that. We're also here because of your desire to make America great and to introduce a golden age in America, including for digital assets. And we're here because of your love of innovators, or as you might say, high IQ people. We know you love high IQ people, and we have about 30 of them here in the room today. These are the top people in the digital asset industry. And one other thing that I think that you love is legal fairness. This is an industry that was subjected to prosecution and persecution for the last 4 years, horrible lawfare, and nobody knows what that feels like better than you do. So we really appreciate the fact that you understand legal fairness and that you're always willing to fight for the right thing, for legal fairness. You never back down. You stand defiant, even in the face of an assassin bullet. It's an inspiration to everyone in this room, I think. So it's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I just want to say it's an honor to work for you. It's an honor to work for a president who works every day to get so much done on behalf of the American people. Your administration is moving at tech speed. It's really amazing. It's actually faster than any startup that I've been part of, is that your administration moves even faster. So I just want to say thank you for
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
pass the ball to Secretary Bessent.
Scott?
Good. David, so today, when President Trump has signed the executive order to establish the strategic Bitcoin reserve and stockpile, we're going to position the United States as a leader among nations in the digital asset strategy. It's important for the United States to recognize this fact and get ahead of the other nations in the digital age. We applaud the President's direction to use the digital assets already in possession of the nation, and we are going to establish this Bitcoin reserve. We use this authority to augment the assets side of the United States balance sheet. As I've said many times, President Trump is creating assets for the American people, while most past presidents have created debt, and a large part of this asset program can be in digital assets. We are going to end the regulatory weaponization against digital assets. The Biden administration's actions did nothing other than punish innovators, and that all of you have made it here today is really a testament to your fortitude. Much of Treasury's responsibility in this order relates to the tax code and determinations around risk weightings, and I'm here to assure you that we are going to work with the Comptroller of the Currency, the IRS, and we're going to rescind and amend all applicable previous guidance. And we are going to put a lot of thought into the stablecoin regime, and as President Trump has directed, we are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stablecoins to do that. Thank you.
Technology is at the foundation of the Trump presidency. He understands technology, he embraces technology, and he's going to use technology to drive America forward. The blockchain and Bitcoin technology are a key part of that thinking, and embracing that, and here today shows how much a leader the Trump administration and our president is. He understands it, he embraces it. As you said, you're a pioneer in this place, and this is where we're going. We're using the blockchain, we're using Bitcoin, we're going to use digital assets to pound forward, and Donald Trump is leading the way. Can't be more proud of you today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Howard. Kelly, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is truly a historic day, and as a crypto founder, I couldn't be more proud to be part of your administration. You're moving at the speed of tech for sure, and I will just say it's a great day to have the war on not just crypto, but the war on innovation done. And under your administration, we are truly going to enter into the golden age. And I'll just say, as the administrator of the SBA, small business is a tremendous network that crypto can be deployed against, and so the SBA is open to crypto. So I look forward to working with all of the leaders in this room to advance your efforts here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you very much. Tom, please.
Well, Mr. President, I want to say thank you. I want to thank you for the amazing team that you put together. I want to thank you for David. I mean, this kind of a meeting, no one in this room could have envisioned this just a couple years ago. You are the one that has the vision. You're the one that said we are going to do 21st century, how far we've come, and that's everything else you're doing. And
thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Go ahead, please.
Does anyone want to say a couple of words? Cameron or Tyler, do you want to?
You're very shy in front
of the camera. Cameron, I think you said something earlier that I thought was really profound. You said that a year ago, you thought it would be more likely that you'd end up in jail at the White House. Not to put you on the spot, because you didn't do anything wrong, but that was the environment a year ago. But do you guys want to say something, either one?
Sure, that was actually Tyler who said that. but
sorry, I still get mixed up.
But yeah, we never thought that we'd get attacked the way we did in our backyard after trying to do the right thing for so many years and always trying to raise the bar with respect to regulations. So it's truly wonderful to see how things have changed and how the pendulum has swung back in the way that it has. And we've always felt that the U.S. should lead in Bitcoin and crypto, and it's ours to sort of lead and win. And it's just wonderful what President Trump has been doing with this, and we look forward to working together. And thanks for inviting us, David, and setting this up.
Thank you. Thank you both. Please.
I was just going to say thank you, Mr. President. Cameron takes credit for a lot of my things I say, so it's not the first time. But the U.S. won the internet, and the U.S. should win crypto. So thank you for your leadership on this.
Thank you both very much. High IQ individuals around this table. That's what I always say. We need high IQ. So thank you very much. Would anybody like to say anything? Please.
Okay, welcome.
I just want to express my deep gratitude for the seriousness with which you're approaching our industry and how you're actually helping guide it in the right direction. I've worked with many central banks in other countries, and when I was working there, I was wondering why I, as an American citizen, can't help the United States financial system reach this higher level that the world is on course towards generally. And so I'm very grateful that finally there's been a new level of kind of common sense and adoption of these ideas. Me and the other people in this room do believe that the crypto, blockchain, Web3 infrastructure is the next iteration of the financial system. And I think that the U.S. should have its leadership position continue in that new financial system. And I'm very, very happy to see people like David Sachs, Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick taking this very seriously with their time, and very grateful to them too. So I'm just overjoyed to see this. And I think it is a big part of how the U.S. can continue its role in the global financial system. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I thought it was very important that we stay in the front of this one. This is a big one. And as you know, China is pushing forward and very strongly as usual. But we're way in the lead, as we are in AI and other things, and we want to stay there. So I thought this was very important, and we have some brilliant people sitting around this table, and it's an honor to have you involved. But we want to stay at the forefront of everything. And this is a very important day in your lives. I know you worked, some of you, very long before people really understood what was happening. And so I congratulate you. But this is a big day. Being in the White House is a big deal, and you have great support. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, please. Thank you very much. Thank you, media. Thank you. Please.
So that was from yesterday's crypto summit at the White House. I was just thinking, like, imagine, because I'll give you a quick little, my first encounter with Bitcoin, which I didn't use it, but back in the day, like, this had to be like 2006, right? Trying to get the sports streaming service. And the first time I signed up for it, I was able to pay with PayPal. The second year that when I was gonna renew it, they said, oh, we're only taking payments in Bitcoin. And at that time, Bitcoin was like cheap. It was like, I didn't even know how to. So the service was like $100 for the year, and they said they wanted like 0.8 of a Bitcoin to something like that, right? So I'm just imagining, like, what if at the time, the country as a whole, for instance, right, just like was to buy a few Bitcoins back then. Imagine the value that it would be today, right? So all this to say that I think number one, we need to be a little bit more open-minded and innovative, but not in the sense of just going and buying anything. Open-minded and innovative to learning what these things actually are, instead of wasting your money just buying random stuff. Learn what it is, learn how it works. You know what? I'm probably going to find some course that breaks it down a little bit better. But the other thing I want to say is that this is why, like, I like this show. Even sometimes like I don't feel like doing a Saturday morning show, right? But then the things that you can get out of it, because we need to listen to what the elected officials are saying and what they're doing. Because for me, I'm like, okay, this guy just talked about Web3 technology, about crypto, security, stuff like that. I need to look more into that. I need to align myself with where the government and the current administration is pushing us technologically, right? Because that is where there's going to be companies that are going to be opening, growth and stuff like that. So, and even if you don't immediately get a job in that, but you strategically align yourself so that you can have better opportunities available for you, right? So that's what I heard listening to this. I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a bunch of smart crypto people. They almost ended up in jail, stuff like that. But at the end, the guy talk about Web3 technologies, crypto, all that type of stuff. I'm like, oh, let me this little section is where we need to start looking. Okay, we need to, because maybe a year ago I did a presentation for a Wednesday show about Web3 technologies. I need to go and dive deeper into this Web3, because that's going to be by them mentioning it there, they're going to be focusing on that. And we need to strategically align ourselves with where these smart people. So many times people are like, oh my God, the rich. And I'm like, look, and a lot of people don't like me for this, right? But I'm like, I want to align myself with the rich because they are the driving force of this country and of the world. So I need to see, okay, what is it that they're looking for? Let me go out and gain those skills that what these quote unquote rich people are looking for so that I can benefit. I would rather get the scraps off the table of a rich person than have a seat at the table and have a full course meal of a broke person, right? Because I'm going to eat a lot better from the scraps of the rich table than the empty plates on the broke table, right? I'm just saying that is just me. All right. Let's check the chat before we wrap it up for today. Let's see. I think we got some really, really good comments in there. Let's see. Let's start off from the top. We are at, so crypto reserve for Peter Investor said crypto reserve. So that's what I was like, how does a crypto reserve work? I'm gonna have to do some research on that. How does a crypto reserve work? The Wealth Manager says it's YouTube Premium is more than worth it. I agree 100% with you on that. Peter Investor says the U.S. government owns some crypto from seizure and forfeiture by law enforcement, but sadly, they already sold millions already.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I think part of the problem is that we don't do smart things. All right, we don't do smart things. Like I don't know. We don't do smart things. They need to secure them as assets under custody or management. AUM. I never heard of that, but cool. Let's see. That you learn something new every day. Let's see. The Wealth Building Journey says, does that mean that the seized cryptocurrency is a de facto civil asset forfeiture? Let's see. And I found it funny where the lady said, I think her name is Kelly Loeffler, maybe, says the speed of tech. That's a new one for me. I haven't heard that one yet. The Wealth Building Journey says cryptocurrency faces an existential threat from quantum computing, though. Funny enough, with the Wealth Building Journey, I wish I had this book right next to me, but I have a quantum computing book for babies, and I was reading it the other night with my son, and I was explaining to him how quantum computing works. While I was explaining to him how it works, I was also learning how it works as well. Miss Freckles agrees. Says this really all reminds me of the show Westworld almost to a T. I've never watched the Westworld. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Let's see. The Wealth Building Journey says if no one claims them or are convicted of federal crimes, then the government can seize your assets. Or they are convicted of a federal crime, then the government can seize your assets. Also, we have president with eminent domain law. Let's see. The World Building Journey says the other way is to simply buy crypto assets. Buy it. You want the government to actually buy something? You know what I noticed? I had this thought as well, Peter Investor, with the last comment that you had about the government selling a lot of these crypto assets. I tend to see that the government will overpay for whatever, right? And then when they sell it, they sell it for below market value. It is so weird. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the story about President Trump's negotiations with Boeing on the Air Force One or Air Force Two plane, and how he walked away from the deal, and then they came back like 3 months later. So okay, we'll do it for the price that you want it for, right? But on the other side, I don't know how much was paid for border wall material and stuff like that, but when the previous administration sold off the border wall material, they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar. So for the dollar that they paid for it, they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar. That is absolutely crazy to me. Like, and what are you gonna use that money for? Like, I don't know. Roxy, go to sleep. Please go to sleep, Roxy. I'm trying my best to stay awake. Go to sleep, Roxy. Please do me a favor. Go to sleep. I know you are super, super tired from working. All right. The World's Winning Journey says CAF for crimes and unclaimed CAF for crime and unclaimed estate property don't necessarily apply. Justification wise, to every situation where the government has seized property. And Peter Investor says, keep your BTC, your Bitcoin. Don't sell it. Use it as collateral to borrow against, not financial advice. Check with your advisor. And the World's Winning Journey says, the government already got their hand slapped for incorrectly seizing assets of law-abiding citizens in a raid on a safe house in LA a few years back. The government is like, I would rather ask for forgiveness than for permission. You know, because now they here's the thing. The World's Winning Journey. How long did they have it? How long did they have it seized for until they got their hands slapped? And that's the thing with the law. They will with the government. They'll put you through hell, right? And guess what? If the person who I guess sued them for that, if they didn't have the money to sue them, they would be SOL. They would be SOL, right? And the World's Winning Journey says CAF is civil asset. Thank you so much. Civil asset forfeiture. And Peter Investor says you are correct. Just remember that the law can be passed or executive order by POTUS can be signed. That is also a fact as well. And the World's Winning Journey says you are the product of the 5 closest people with whom you surround yourself. That is 100% true. I was listening to something that mentioned. Actually, no, it was I was listening to a song this morning where they were using what's that guy Joel Osteen's this one like I guess it was a rap song. They took part of his sermon to talk about and they were talking about like how like their growth and it's a good song. I like it. It's by Slim Thug, but yeah, he was talking about like the people you surround yourself are is that's who you are, you know. So that's why like for me, I don't surround myself with a lot of people, and I'm always inspecting and adjusting those that I do decide to surround myself with. And like for me, I think I surround myself with a lot of warriors and savages, male and female, because like I said, I was cramping like crazy yesterday, but it was a great feeling by the level of training that we had this week. Like, oh my God, I can't even describe it. Like I'm gonna have to create a whole. I'm gonna have to go on my jiu-jitsu channel to talk about how that was. Let's see. Roxy works 12-hour shifts overnight. It's rough. And Peter Investor says it depends on how the government sees crypto assets as either currency, reserve, or as digital asset class like real estate. That is a good point, because that sounds like, what exactly is it? You know. And Roxy says, have a great day. Have a great day as well, Roxy. Thank you for hanging in with us as long as you could. I know it's not easy, but thank you. Have an amazing day. You know what? Let's cheer for Roxy. All right. So that's it. We're to the bottom of the chat. Once again, I say thank you guys so much for tuning in. Peter Investor, thank you for that $5 super chat. I really, really, really appreciate it. I appreciate every last one of you guys, though. Trebek finally made it to our Saturday morning show. Trebek came and met me on our Sunday show when I was talking about deploying our Urban Dictionary, but you got to see it in full action today, how I use it for the show. So thank you, Trebek. You added so much value to the show as well. I truly, truly appreciate you being here. You know, Peter Investor, CJ, you guys know, like, I really, really appreciate your financial input, because there's a lot of this stuff that I don't know myself, and you guys, I just have some thoughts, but you guys have like a lot of details that helps me fill in a lot of gaps. And I appreciate everybody who comes and learns with me on this journey. It is so much fun. I forgot Spaces. Spaces, thank you so much for stopping by earlier. Musify, you too. But yeah, that's about it for today. We're going to wrap it up. You guys, I just want to say thank you once again. I will see you guys tomorrow live. I might be in the Discord today, just hanging out, working on. Maybe I'll be in the Discord while I'm doing my preparing content for the week. We shall see, right? But just want to say thank you guys. Have an amazing rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the weekend. Spend some time with your family, all that good stuff. But make sure you get that 1% growth every single day. That is a non-negotiable. You have to grow 1% every single day because the world will not wait for you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to wait for you. You got to get it done. All right. So with that being said, I am going to get out of here. You guys have an amazing rest of your day. Tech Coach Ralph, we are out.
Now they see that I was right. Ooh, I stood my ground in every fight. Told them once and told them twice. Guess it took the burn to open eyes. They advocated for the wrong side. Ignored the truth that I could not hide. Now they're stranded in the desert dry, chasing shadows with a desperate sigh. I hate to say I told you so, but the fire's out and the ashes glow. The fools who mocked me get the show. Truth's the only thing that grows. They fought me hard, pushed me away. Now their blind faith led them astray. Promises shattered, lies on display. They've learned a hard lesson today. Now they're turning back on broken dreams, wandering lost in twisted schemes. The truth they shunned is loud and screams. Nightmares are never what they seem. I hate to say I told you so, but the fire's out and the ashes glow. The fools who mocked me get the show. Truth the only thing that grows. Now they're turning back on broken dreams, wandering lost in twisted schemes.